Hello everyone, I am Dharmendra Sheth from Surat. Welcome to Fluentlingua. Today I intend to discuss a few proverbs. If you are a non-native speaker of English, you might find it very useful. The first is, a bad workman blames his tools. For example, if the person who is working is not skilled, if he doesn't know his job very well, and if the final product is not good, if the result is not good, he will not say, I don't have enough skills. He will not accept that it was his problem. He will say that my tools were not good. So a bad workman blames his tools. Second, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. This proverb indicates that you should give more importance to what you have rather than what is likely to come. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Number 3. A drowning man will clutch at a straw. When you are in a very bad situation, when you are surrounded by lots of problems, then even if there is a small hint of help, there is a small possibility of some help, you will accept that. You will try to solve all the problems because of that small help. So a drowning man will clutch at a straw. Number 4. A fool and his money are soon parted. I guess the meaning here is very clear. If a person is foolish, he will not be able to save his money properly and he will waste his money. So very soon he will be without money. A fool and his money are soon parted. Number 5. A miss is as good as a mile. For example, you try to hit the target and suppose you missed by just 1 millimeter. Now whether you missed by 1 millimeter or 1 inch, it doesn't make any difference. A miss is a miss. So a miss is as good as a mile. Suppose the cutoff marks for admission to a college is say 55, and if you have scored 54, then does it make any difference whether you have scored 54 or say 50 or 45? It doesn't make any difference. A miss is as good as a mile. Number 6. A rolling stone gathers no moss. If you keep changing your profession again and again, if you keep changing your job again and again, then you will not have enough experience in a particular field. So a rolling stone gathers no moss. A small leak can sink a great ship. I'm sure it is easy to understand. If there is a ship and if there is a small leak and if it is not repaired immediately, very soon the whole ship will be in trouble. The ship can sink. So when you have a problem, a small problem, if you don't tackle it immediately, if you don't solve that problem immediately, it might become bigger and later you may not be able to solve that problem. So a small leak can sink a great ship. Number 8. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you love a person and if that person is away from you, your fondness for that person increases. Because of the absence, you will miss that person so much. So your love for that person, your affection for that person, your fondness for that person increases. Number 9. As you make your bed, so must you lie on it. I'm sure it is easy to understand. Basically, it means that your result will depend on your actions. If you committed some mistakes, if you committed some crimes, then you will be punished. So your result will always be dependent on your quality of work. Number 10. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Again, it is obvious. Sometimes when you see two people, they love each other and they both are totally different. So sometimes you don't know why they love each other, what they like about in each other. In such a situation, you can say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like sometimes I see some flower or some insect or some bird and I enjoy it so much, and I tell some people, see, that's such a wonderful insect, that's such a wonderful flower. But they may not like it, they may not appreciate it. So I can say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. 11. Birds of a feather flock together. You might have seen that birds of a particular type, they generally go together. Similarly, people having similar interests, they form their own groups, they go together. So birds of a feather means of similar types. So birds of a feather flock together. Charity begins at home. For example, if I keep advising others, do this, do that, and I don't do that thing at all, then people might say, why don't you do that first? Charity begins at home. 13. Discretion is the better part of valor. Now, in some situations, it is advisable not to fight. For example, if there is a huge person, a very stout and strong person, he comes in front of me and he wants to fight with me, what should I do? Should I get angry and start fighting with him? Not at all. At that time, I should use my power of thinking. I should use my discretion, and I should somehow avoid fighting with that person. So discretion is the better part of valor. In such a situation, I shouldn't show my valor. I have to use my common sense, discretion. Number 14. Don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Now, sometimes people plan their expenditure on the basis of what they are likely to get. Before they get, they start even sometimes spending. So here, we should not we should not think that whatever results we have thought of, we will get those results. Sometimes we may not. So we should wait till the result has come, and after that we have to plan. So don't count your chickens before they are hatched. Even literally also, if you see, suppose there are 15 eggs, that does not mean from all 15 eggs, from each and every egg you are going to get a chicken. You have to wait, and when actually chickens come out of them, all 15, then you can say it's fine. Otherwise, don't count your chickens before they are hatched. 15. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Suppose you have ₹1,000,000. If you invest all your money in one company, and if that company doesn't perform well, you will be in trouble. So instead of that, you should invest money in 10 different companies of 10 different types. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. That means you have to spread your risk. 16. Empty vessels make most noise. You might have seen some people in your surroundings, some people in your company, in your family. They talk a lot, they boast a lot, but actually they don't have those qualities. So they are like empty vessels. They make a lot of noise, but there is nothing inside. There is no inner strength, inner power. So empty vessels make most noise. 17. every cloud has a silver lining. That means sometimes the situation is bad. You might feel that everything is going against your wishes, destiny is not in favor, stars are not in favor, everything is going bad. So even in that situation, there may be something good that's likely to happen. So every cloud, every bad situation has a ray of hope, a silver lining. 18. Every dog has his day. That means for every person there is some time, some particular day, some particular situation in which he or she will get success. So every person will sooner or later, if he keeps working, he will get success. 19. Faint heart never won fair lady. Faint heart, those who are timid, not brave, they will not win a fair lady, a beautiful person. Now here the message is not just about a person, it's about some achievement. If you really want to achieve something significant, then you will have to take some risks. Without taking risks, you cannot expect handsome rewards. So faint heart never won fair lady. 20. Familiarity breeds contempt. Sometimes when you meet somebody, in the beginning you like that person, you become friends, and you look at only positive things, so you don't know really that person much. But after some months or years, when you actually know in and out of that person, then probably you develop a kind of dislike for that person. So familiarity, too much familiarity basically breeds contempt. You dislike that person. 21. Forbidden fruit tastes sweeter. Now I am sure as a child you must have experienced certain things that you were not allowed to do, you always wanted to do. Suppose somebody said at that time, don't go to that particular room, then what would you like to do? You wanted to go to that room, right? So forbidden fruit, something which you are not allowed to do, that is very interesting for you. You want to do that. Forbidden fruit tastes sweeter. 22. Great oaks from little acorns grow. Big trees, huge trees, great oaks, and they grow from what? Little seeds, little acorns. So if you want to achieve something great, you will have to do hundreds and thousands of small things, and then the final result will be a big achievement. So you have to start somewhere. So great oaks from little acorns grow. Sometimes even a small simple idea, it becomes a huge thing later on. 23. Half a loaf is better than none. Sometimes you want something, you need something in a particular quantity, but you don't have that. You just have a small quantity. But still, even if it is not enough, still it is good that you have that. Something is better than nothing, as we say. So here, half a loaf is better than none. Next, 24. He who pays the piper calls the tune. That means the person who is actually making the payment for something, he will decide what to do and how. Suppose somebody has arranged a party, and that person is going to pay for all food and drink and everything. So he will decide what should be served, right? You cannot say, because he is going to pay. So he who pays the piper calls the tune. 25. Let not the pot call the kettle black. It's a very interesting proverb. For example, if I have some bad habit And if I blame somebody else of the same habit, then you can say, this is the case of the pot calling the kettle black. He might say, first you improve and then tell me. So let not the pot call the kettle black, because they both are actually black. They both have the same problems. 26. Let sleeping dogs lie. Sometimes you know that certain situations are going to create problems. So at that time, it is better to avoid them. Don't create a situation in which that problem can arise. So let sleeping dogs lie. Don't disturb them. 27. Look before you leap. Now literally also you can see, before you take a step, you must see where you are putting your step. Right? Similarly, before taking any action, you think about the possible consequences. 28. Many hands make light work. Sometimes there is a big work to be done. Then it is better if there are quite a few people to help you. When there are many people, the work becomes much easier. So many hands make light work. 29. More haste, less speed. Sometimes you want to complete that work very quickly. You try to do things very fast. And in that, you make mistakes and you have to redo certain things. And at the end, you are actually spending more time than required. So more haste actually will result in less speed. More haste, less speed. 30. Necessity is the mother of invention. Everyone knows that. When you are in dire need of something, you will find a solution. You will create something. You will invent something new. So necessity is the mother of invention. 31. New brooms sweep clean. Now literally if you buy a new broom, you will be able to clean everything nicely. Now actually the proverb is about human beings. In a company, if there are some new employees, they will run fast, they will work hard, they will do everything energetically. So in that situation we can say, new brooms sweep clean. 32. No news is good news. Now it's very obvious, the meaning is clear. When there is no news from your friends or relatives who are away from you, that means they are well, there is no problem. Because if there was a problem, you would get the message. So no news is good news. 33. Once bitten, twice shy. Suppose you had a problem, you suffered something. For example, while going from one place to the other, there is a particular, there are some steps and one of the steps is broken. So while stepping down, while going downstairs, you might have missed a step or you might have fallen. The next time when you go from that area, what will you do? You will take extreme care. So once bitten, twice shy. Suppose you have invested in the stock market in a particular company and you have lost your money. The next time what will you do? You will not invest on your own. You will ask 10 people. You will consult some financial advisor, and after that you will invest. So once bitten, twice shy. 34. One swallow doth not make a summer. One swallow doth not make a summer. That means, suppose you achieve something small, that doesn't mean you have achieved everything. Just one success is not enough. One small thing is not enough. When you achieve so many small things, then the bigger achievement is possible. 35. Out of sight, out of mind. This proverb is exactly opposite of absence makes the heart grow fonder. Here it says out of sight. That means if a person or a thing which is away from you, you don't see that thing or person, then after some time you will forget that person, or it will not be very important for you, or he or she will not be very important for you. So out of sight, out of mind. 36. Out of the frying pan into the fire. Sometimes you are in deep trouble, and then you do something and you are in another deep trouble. So actually you are not able to come out of that situation. So you go from one bad situation to another bad situation. So out of the frying pan into the fire. 37. Penny wise, pound foolish. There are some people who are extremely careful in spending small amounts. But when it comes to big amounts, they spend without thinking twice. So in that situation, we can say penny wise, pound foolish. 38. Practice what you preach. Suppose I keep telling people, do this, do that, and if I don't do it, then people can say, practice what you preach. If I tell people, you must read this, you must read that, and people never ever see me reading anything, and they might say, practice what you preach. 39. Pride goes before a fall. Now when a person is proud, arrogant, that is a sure sign, that's a telltale sign that very soon he is going to fall. Fall in the sense he will be in trouble. He will lose what he has achieved. So pride goes before a fall. 40. Silence implies consent. Now here the meaning is very clear. Suppose somebody tells you, you have spoiled this table, you have broken this chair, and suppose you don't say anything. So that silence is a proof that you have done that. You are responsible for that situation. So silence implies consent. 41. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Now this suggests that in childhood, for example, when a child makes mistakes, then sometimes it is parents' responsibility or teachers' responsibility to punish that child. Not very harsh, but some sort of punishment is good, so that that person, that child, learns correct behavior, appropriate behavior. So if you don't punish that child, you are actually spoiling the child's future. So spare the rod and spoil the child. 42. Speech is silvern, silence is golden. There are many situations in which it is better not to speak anything. If you remain silent, it is good. So speech is good, speech is silvern, but not in all situations. In some situations, silence is more important, more valuable. 43. Still waters run deep. Here it is not just about water, it is about human beings. Some people, they don't express their ideas, they don't show their emotions, but in their heart, in the deep heart, they might have great either thoughts or emotions or feelings. They might bottle up their feelings. They might be bottling up their feelings. You don't know. So still waters run deep. 44. The best form of defense is attack. Sometimes when the enemy is near, instead of waiting for them to attack you and then you defend, it is better to attack. You start the attack. And when you start the attack, and if they are not prepared, they may be confused and they might lose the battle. So the best form of defense is attack. 45. The devil finds work for idle hands. I am sure in every language there is an equivalent proverb. The person who doesn't have any serious work, that person will create problems for others. He will do something that will create more obstacles rather than help. Like an idle mind is devil's workshop. So here the devil finds work for idle hands. 46. The early bird catches the worm. The early bird, that means if you are quick enough, then you are likely to get the benefits in any situation. The early bird catches the worm. 47. There are none so deaf as those who will not hear. You might have met some people, you advise them, you give them proper advice, but they don't listen to you. They don't listen to anyone actually. So those people are actually deaf. Not physiologically, but they don't listen, so they are going to suffer. So there are none so deaf as those who will not hear. 48. There is no smoke without fire. When people talk about something, about a particular person or a company, then there is a possibility that something is amiss, something is wrong there. That's why people talk about it. Like if one person says it's okay, two people say it's okay, but if there are 10, 100 people talking about something, then there is a possibility that what they are talking about is true. So there is no smoke without fire. 49. There is now so queer as folk. It's very interesting. There is now so queer as folk. I'm sure sometimes you meet some people and you find that how strange those people are, right? They behave in a very peculiar way, strange way. So in that situation, you can say there is now so queer as folk. Like sometimes some food items, you feel it is so strange, the taste is very odd. You don't like that. Most people say they don't like that particular kind of food, but some people like. So you can say they are strange, right? So there is not so queer means strange, as folk, means people are strange. 50. To err is human, to forgive is divine. It's a very popular proverb. It says that every human being is likely to commit some mistake, or make some mistake. It's human. If you are a normal human being, you are likely to commit some mistakes, no worries. But to forgive is divine. If you forgive somebody's mistake, then it is a good thing. So to err is human, to forgive is divine. 51. Too many cooks spoil the broth. If there is some task to be done, you give the responsibility for that particular task to 1 or 2 or 3 people. But if you employ 10 people, then that task may not be done properly. So too many cooks spoil the broth. Broth here is some kind of soup. 52. Truth will out. I think there is a similar proverb, murder will out. That means if something bad has happened, some big crime has been committed, then sooner or later it will come out. Either the police will dig it out or some other agency will find out. But in any case, truth will out. 53. Two heads are better than one. In some situations, doing everything alone may not be a good idea. For example, if it is writing, if you write something, you yourself may not be able to find errors in your writing. If there is a typo, you cannot find it out. You always need somebody's help. So sometimes two heads are better than one. For example, if you are working on a project, then single-handedly if you keep working, you may not be able to do it properly. You need to share your ideas with somebody, give or take feedback from others, discuss with others, right? So 2 heads are better than 1. 54. While the cat's away, the mice will play. When the cat's away means when the boss, for example, in your office is away, all the employees will enjoy that time. They will have fun because they don't have any fear of their boss. So while the cat's away, or when the cat's away, the mice will play. 55 and the last one, you may as well be hanged for a sheep as for a lamb. That means if the punishment is certain, then whether you commit a small crime or a big crime, the punishment is bound to be there. So when you are committing a crime, for example, if you are stealing 100 rupees and there is some punishment, then if you steal 1000 rupees, the punishment is the same. So why not to commit that bigger crime? So you may as well be hanged for a sheep as for a lamb. So friends, here we have discussed 55 proverbs. These are all commonly used proverbs. I may have made mistakes in 1 or 2 pronunciations here and there. I might have misunderstood a little here and there. So I strongly recommend that you look up all these proverbs in authentic material. Look them up in dictionaries if you have, and make sure that you know actual meanings of all these proverbs. Many of these proverbs have actually stories behind them, but I didn't have time to tell stories. But if you have time, then look up in some material where the origin of proverbs is given. So friends, let's stop here. I am Dharmendra Sheth from Surat. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel Fluentlingua on YouTube. Thank you very much.